Why Ukraine live stream. It's going to be a really interesting live stream today. Have a few topics, and I apologize for being late. Some days I wake up and I'm like, like the time just disappears. Am I walking? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I did manage to get a cup of coffee, and this is cup number 2. So, yeah, today's going to be a very interesting live stream, and some of you know why. Oh, hey, Orsis, so good to see you. This is going to be great. Really going to be great. Yeah, so glad everybody's coming in, getting here. Yeah, well, I'll just let everybody come in and kind of get things rolling, let things happen. Okay, Belle. Hi. We have Tony, and Orsis has joined us today, which is fantastic. I'm so happy. I want to wait for a few more people to get in, but we'll start in with the news and everything. Oh gosh. Yeah. So this Optima distance learning school, kind of interesting. I have some students. Who go to or have gone. Oh, hey, Mitch. Oh, well, thanks for coming anyway. I appreciate it. Really, really. We have some really interesting news to cover. I got a big surprise coming at some point in our live stream today. Yeah, so let's just get this out of the way. Let's get the Trump shit out of the way to begin with, right? Let's do that. Let's just, Catherine, no, I have not checked Discord this morning yet. But I will. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. It'll come up. Give it a minute. Yeah, so I just want to get the American stuff out of the way. Yeah, we're all hoping that Orsis is doing okay today. Okay. Yeah, the last thing I got from you was yesterday, Catherine, about faith. That was the last message that I saw. Did you message me in the Discord server as well, and I missed it? I should be checking my own Discord server, but I don't see anything. So yeah. Cool. Yeah, as I was saying, Trump, real interesting. He is basically at this point he's directly threatening the Supreme Court to say that if you allow me to be excluded from the elections, because we have a law in our Constitution that people who launch insurrections against the government can't run for president. I don't know why we would have that in America, but we do. And he's basically telling them that if he's excluded from the ballot for that reason, he's gonna, launch a an insurrection. It's ridiculous. This is the article that I wanted to talk about the other day, but I just didn't want to spend so much time on U.S. politics. And this is for you, Catherine. Here, this guy. This was the biggest of all of the people in the U.S. presidential race. This guy was the biggest anti-Ukraine person. And oh my God, the things he was saying. Jesus H. Christ. Just basically a mouthpiece, total mouthpiece for Russian propaganda, and actively, it was, you would think he was campaigning to be Trump's vice president. It's basically just sucking Trump's dick all day. The dude's like a millionaire involved in like the tech industry, something like that. And there's a lot of Indian Americans in the tech industry, especially in Silicon Valley, and that's kind of like what he's from. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't know, even in America. Oh yeah, Trump is calling Fox News hosts and telling them what to say as if he was Putler and Fox was RT. Yeah, he's been doing that since he was doing that his whole presidential thing, basically. So when you run for president, there are certain, and here we go, this is the deal. There are certain requirements for eligibility, specifically for public funding of president. Oh my gosh, I'm not sharing my screen, guys. There we go. Let's take a step back. Okay. There's a deal about Trump. Okay. Kicking him off the ballot would unleash chaos. Blah, blah, blah. Here we are. Yeah. And then this guy, basically, he's a scammer. Okay. And yes, we have scammers in our presidential races. And let me explain why. Because we have public funding of presidential elections. If you raise, there's certain minimum standards, but basically, however much, to sum it all up, however much money you raise to support your campaign, the U.S. government will pay half, or they will match that amount. They'll match the first $250 of each contribution from individuals that an eligible presidential candidate receives. So that's a lot of money. That's a 100% return on your investment. And this guy is an investor. And a big reason at the beginning why people said that Trump ran for office was that he was just doing it to, take that federal election money and run with it. He wasn't really expecting to win the election. He just made so much money from the campaign, from people donating to him, and on top of that, federal matching funds. So, it's a money-making opportunity. So that's why this guy, this Vivek Ramaswamy, he just went up there and he's these people. He knows who are the stupid people, who's going to donate to him the most money. He's going to say exactly what they want to hear, and we know that that's why he's a big anti-Ukraine person, and he got a bunch of donations. The United States matched all of those donations. He made millions and millions of dollars for, what, like 1 year's worth of work. And then he withdrew. So, yeah, the government matches donations, Catherine. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of Americans don't know that. So, yeah, so scammer. He's just a scammer. That's all. That's all. Yeah, so everybody's asking Orsis. Orsis, how are you doing? Why don't you tell us what's going on with you? How's your butt? How's everything going along there? What's going on down there in Orsis land? Yeah. Oh, good. Good. Do you still need I was thinking, do you still want to do a fundraiser for your trip back to what was it, Thailand? Because I was thinking about setting up a fundraiser for you. I can do it on my website. You want to do that? This one? We could do that if you want. I was just wondering about it because since you already got $500 from people over on the Ukraine Matters Discord, I was wondering if you still needed that extra 500. Okay. That's cool. Just checking. Yeah, so this is interesting. And I know this has been reported by everybody, okay? But I just think that this is so important. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is just so important. Peer. The problem with dictatorships is they look like they're all, completely unified until until they're not. And then they fall like a house of cards. And this, if we just take a look at this Bashkortostan, which is where these protests are happening. Okay. Excuse me. Uh-huh. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. So, just to give you a sense of where this is happening, okay? I think it's really important. And I have my internet is plenty fast. I don't know why my computer. It's probably because I have a ton of tabs open on Google Maps. So, all right, here we go. Let's take a look at Russia. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. So, Bashkortostan is, you see over here where it says Kazan? And then down below that, I'm going to say right along here, along the Volga. I mean, the point I'm trying to make here, yeah, Ulyanovsk, in this general area over here is where these protests are happening. And it's just very interesting because, I mean, first of all, it's right in the middle of Russia, arguably, but also, it's not very far from Ukraine. I mean, I guess it is. Depends on how you measure far. As an American, I would say, gosh, that's not very far. That's like the length of California, maybe. You know, so it would not take very much for this area here to. They're like already putting out messages, calling their soldiers back, saying, come back and help us against the Russians. You know, the chatbot is finishing my words wrong and adding random words. Wow. Yeah. Um, we talk about the breakup of Russia, and just imagine if we could draw a line from Kharkiv to Samara, essentially. Kharkiv to Kazan. It would effectively cut off Moscow from Yekaterinburg and the entire rest of the country. I would not be surprised if we did not see like real violent, like Russian army essentially reconquering Bashkortostan over here in this area. Plus, it's on the it's around the Volga River. Let me get the exact map here. Bashkorto. Yeah, here we go. Republic of Bashkortostan. I'm off a little bit, aren't I? Okay, so it's not on the Volga. It's closer to Kazakhstan. But still, that's a very strategic place. You got major railroads going through there. Yeah, Russia's got to be a little bit worried about these things. You know? Okay, enough about that. I keep hearing this news. Yeah, Vivek didn't quit until after the caucus without winning a single delegate. Yeah, but he still gets to take that money with him, as I understand it. Anyway, he still gets that money. So whatever money he raised, hundreds of millions, millions, I'm sure, at least. Yeah. So this here, man, Ukraine actively working to resume flights from Kyiv and Lviv. Dude, come on. I mean, okay, maybe Lviv. No, I don't know anybody who is like, I mean, except, I don't know, probably some major politicians in Europe who don't want to take the train. Okay, maybe that's it. Other than that, I don't know anybody who's going like, yeah, I really want to fly into Kyiv right now. That sounds like a good idea. No, negative, incorrect. Okay, incorrect. I mean, first of all, I mean, think about all of the air defense that's in the city right now. Okay, the city of Kyiv. What anyone who just happens to look up and think, "Oh my God, it's a Shahid," or whatever. I mean, the just forget about Russians shooting down Ukrainian airplanes. The Ukrainians could do it very, very well, and this is a big reason why I wanted to talk about this. I'm all excited. Everybody's titties are in a bunch over the Frank and Sam, and I have been too. I'm totally into it. I sent an email and Facebook messages to the Sierra Army Depot. I never got a reply, of course, but to the Sierra Army Depot in California, which is where a lot of the majority, I think, of the U.S. Army's like APCs and everything else are, and asking them about what could they do to see about mounting, particularly these Hawk missiles. And they're the ones in these pictures, the ones that you see that are just open, uncovered missiles on top of trailers. And So we're seeing a lot of articles pop up about it. Here we go. So this is what it looks like, and so this was the predecessor to the Patriot missile system. The missile itself was created in the 1950s, and then this whole big missile system, which is kind of like the Patriot, was added on, I guess, as it was improved and improved. But the problem is that when these things were operational, Air Force pilots were afraid to fly because there were so many near misses. And the kill ratio for these things was only ever 50%. Okay. As far as taking, when I say 50%, I mean taking down enemy airplanes. And they weren't even really designed to take down enemy missiles like the Patriot was. These are air defense designed to take down MiGs. They're designed to take down MiGs. That's what they were designed for. Okay. I seriously question whether, now I know that we did see, let me see, there's the article here. Here we go. Yeah, this is the article. Kiev Independent. Ukraine uses Franken-SAM hybrid system for the first time, downs Russian kamikaze drone. Okay. That's no big deal. Downing a Shahed, people are doing that with their AK-47s. I just want to take a moment. I just want everyone to take a moment to appreciate this guy. Okay. He is curiously not the lead singer for a heavy metal band, or I think he might used to have been the lead singer for Ministry, maybe an industrial band. I'm not sure. Look, he's got the ponytail hawk going on, dude. He's got the death metal beard. I mean, somebody give this guy a guitar. No, I mean, he looks cool. All right. It's just pretty funny that he's the Ukraine's Minister for Strategic Industries. Dude, that's rocking. Good on you. That's so cool. So, all right. Yes, but I think that as far as using this thing, actually using specifically the Hawk Franken-SAMs, the Hawk missile system Franken-SAMs. Now, the thing that's also not clear is when we're talking about these Hawk systems, are they using the full, like, Hawk PIP Phase 3 system, or, and I'm sorry I don't have a picture of the actual Hawk system, but I think if either JP over at ATP Geopolitics, or oh gosh, what's his name? Ukraine Matters. Somebody, maybe it was Jake Broe. Anyway, somebody had a picture of what looked like to me like the real Hawk Franken-SAM system. Okay, and you'll be able to tell because you'll see a lot of pictures of like what people think the Franken-SAM might look like. But I'm reasonably certain that if it's a Hawk Franken-SAM, the missiles are going to be exposed. They're going to be exposed just like they are in these boxes here, just like they are, in this picture here. Okay, these are big ass freaking missiles, dude. To be perfectly honest, I think that as the war goes along, and particularly once F-16s start to come into play, I was reading somewhere, maybe it's here, that, yeah, here we go. And this is on Wikipedia as well. NATO countries, around the world, there are more than 40,000 of these Hawk missiles. Okay, and that's the big deal. I mean, they wouldn't be doing this. They wouldn't be going to all of this trouble they wouldn't be going to all of this trouble if wait, I'm reading your detainees up out of the snow after the woman was yelling at him. These are the group to get on side, I think. Are you talking about in the Bashkortostan, Mitch? Yeah. Yeah, dude, I think they really are. This could be the start of something really interesting, you know. And I hope that Ukraine is I hope that Ukraine's GRU GUR, sorry. Yeah, I hope they're taking it seriously and trying to collaborate with the guys in Bashkortostan. And with there's already a bunch of Ukrainian partisans inside Russia burning shit down. Okay. Anyway, the point is, they wouldn't be doing this whole Frankenstein project for a few hundred old missiles. They've got to have maybe not all 40,000 are available, but at least 10,000. At least 10,000 of these missiles. Okay. And I personally think so. They bought a bunch of them last year from Taiwan, and America has a bunch of these as well. But the problem is, and I was keeping up with this more than a year ago, the actual launcher systems, these trailers that the Hawk is supposed to sit on, had basically sat outside in some yard for somewhere in America for so long that they were just completely unusable. And apparently the parts, whatever parts were rendered unusable, are no longer manufactured anywhere. And so they physically could not replace them. So that's why this whole thing took so long, because they were talking about this in the summer of 22, and it took this long to get it rolling. So here's the deal. I don't think these are going to be used as surface-to-air missiles. Not the Hawks. Maybe the Sidewinders. There's another Frankenstein that's being worked on that's where they're using they're trying to use the Sidewinders. Yeah, I think that will probably be used for a surface-to-air missile. But I think that as this war goes along, certainly by the time the F-16s come in, let's hope by the summer, I think that these Hawk missiles will start to be used for other things, like in the same way that S-200s and even S-300s are being used to hit land targets. I think that these are big-ass freaking missiles, man. And one of them things hits a stationary land target, and it's going to be, destroyed. So, yeah, that's just it. Anyway, that's my bit about the Frankenstein. Yeah. So, this is a little bit of a concern, right? Rheinmetall has finished the overhaul of 2 Leopard 2A4 tanks for Ukraine. 2? What? That's it? 2? Overhauling 2? Oh, what's going on? Why just 2? Okay, that's my question. Part of a larger commitment of 14? Just 14? What is going on? Like, why is that happening so slowly? This lengthy repair time executed by Rheinmetall highlights the current operational capacity of the German defense industry, in contrasting with the faster production rates during the 1980s, when up to 300 Leopard 2A4s were produced annually. So now they, how long did it take? That's what I'm trying to figure out exactly how long it took. So it was announced in April 2023. And it says here, Okay, this suggests a similarly extended timeline for the remaining 12 tanks. Dude, like, wake up, Europe, you know? Yeah, Cheryl, we can just hope that those people are going to not, I mean, Russia's weapon is fear and despair. And the whole point of those billy clubs is to just make you feel despair, you know? But I mean, the question is when it switches to when they actually start shooting protesters, what's going to be the reaction? I mean, that will be the thing to ask. We don't want to hope too much and get our hopes shot down, but yeah, it is exceedingly slow. K&K, you know, yeah, right. Peaceful. Well, I mean, honestly, I have my questions about whether or not peaceful protests work in America. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Interesting, interesting. So, we talked about this before. Okay. I talked about this. There's one particular journalist who accused authorities of coming to his door. And what happened was there were some military guys or guys in military uniform who showed up at his door, didn't like what he was saying, and were banging on his door and telling him he should go join the army and all of this. And it has to do with the oh, and I guess this is a different guy. He looks really sad in this picture. But what's good here is, I mean, unfortunately, this does happen in the United States too, or at least accusations of journalists being quote unquote targeted. And in the United States, as soon as anything like that does happen, the media all jumps on it. It's like, hey, sound the alarm. It's very rare in America, but it happens. Often on a local level, like with local authorities and stuff, such. Uh, so that's what it says here. A host of Ukraine's top independent media outlets have accused authorities of provocations. So yeah, man, people are not going to tolerate this kind. They want to distinguish themselves from Russia. You know, and it's possible that the people who are targeting, you know, targeting these journalists are, I mean, they think they're defending their country, basically. And in a time of war, I remember, 9/11 and when the Iraq war started, anybody who said anything bad about the United States was basically, they just lost their job. Journalist or not, I was harassed, because I said that I thought that 9/11 was a very suspicious situation, and I thought that the way that the United States handled it was wrong. I lost a lot of friends. I'm not even a journalist, for Christ's sake, you know. But yeah, so these are problems, they're struggles. I think it's worth reporting on, and if it gets worse, if I start to see any sort of like a crackdown, as they say on free journalism, I'm going to be all over it. I'm going to be all over it, and uh, Ukrainians are adamant about freedom of speech. So yeah, the Rus, the Rus. I don't even like to use the word Rus. I'm going to stop using that now. I'm going to start to say the Muscovites. The Muscovites need to. They need to change from within because it's too much. Like, we just can't be bothered. I mean, Look at that. Come on. We're gonna mess around with that. We're not gonna, it's gonna fall apart like a house of cards, like I said. So the other big news that everybody's been, woohoo, got their titties up about is, and I said it the other day, is this security deal with Ukraine, between the UK and then, they're basically, Ukraine is forming all of these bilateral agreements. So the question that Ukrainians, and I'm just, kind of reflecting to you what Ukrainians are saying about this. They're like, yeah, this sounds great, but it sounds a lot like we already signed an agreement. Why do we need to sign another one with the UK? Because like we have that. So, oh no, now this time it's for real. This time we're really gonna do it. We're really going to give you security guarantees. So people are questioning, Ukrainians are questioning, how much do these quote unquote security guarantees really count? Because of past experience, I mean, obviously they're thankful for the help now, but I mean, they're just questioning. It's very interesting, the, attitude of Ukrainians. Entirely reasonable. I just wanted to show this article. So Russia opens a museum of looted Ukrainian belongings to showcase the brotherhood between Russians and Ukrainians. Wow. I mean, what? Like what? These are literally things that they stole from Ukraine. Among the exhibits are Ukrainian language newspapers, children's books, vehicle license plates, tape recorders, medals, and IDs. Organizers claim volunteers brought these back from humanitarian missions. So why are they stealing them? I mean, but the fact is that this is what Russia has always done, is stolen from Muscovy. This is what Muscovy has always done. Well, Cheryl, I don't think that Bush did 9/11. Okay. So no toilets. Oh, toilets are coming. Toilets are coming, Tony. Oh, I got a big toilet story for you if you want to hear it. But yeah, no. So do you know what my understanding, the word Al Qaeda, whatever, how you want to pronounce it, it means the list. That's what it means. And it was originally the list of people. It was the CIA's list, okay, of mujahideen in Afghanistan. So it was people that the United States was paying to fight against the Soviet Union in Afghanistan in the 1980s. That's where Al Qaeda started. So that doesn't necessarily mean that Bush did 9/11, but I think they kind of let it happen. I think that there is real evidence to show that they knew they saw the threats, they knew about it, they knew about the plot, and they chose to do nothing. Now, you could argue that there are always plots against the United States, and we don't choose to fight every single one of them because most of them don't turn out to be anything. But is that a conspiracy? I don't know. Oh gosh, toilet talk. Oh man alive. Boy, do I have a toilet story. I am basically building these toilets, if you want to know. Okay. Wow, Cheryl. She went. All right. Her son-in-law went to prison for helping plan the Tanzanian embassy bombing and the first World Trade Center bombing. She didn't deny it. Went to picnics with Bin Laden. Kept separately, of course. Well, yeah. No, I am literally. I have to build these toilets. Okay. Here's the problem. You can't buy wood in Ukraine. I mean, you can buy wood, but only like this wide pieces. It turns out there are like strict regulations because of deforestation or whatever by the government on like how much forestry can be done and the size of wood and all of this shit. And like, I can't fucking find wood. So today, and I went and researched this the day before yesterday. I'm going to buy wooden pallets, like shipping pallets, and each toilet is going to sit on a pallet. But I have to cut the pallet down so it fits on top of the Soviet hole in the ground toilet. Okay, and I mean, this is gonna. Thank God I have space to work on my balcony here. But I mean, basically, like it's a major project. It's a major freaking project. The same thing with waterproofing all of these damn winter coats. So I have this. So the way and they told me, my commander said they really need to be water resistant, because of they were out in the rain. So I've been doing all this research on what to use. Waterproofing spray is a really good thing. It's a silicone spray. The problem is I have to order it online. It's not available locally, and one bottle of waterproofing spray is not going to be enough for 20 coats. It's maybe like one bottle per coat. So it's makes much more sense for me to, and I looked it up on YouTube and watched all these directions to get this silicone sealant, like for your aquarium. Is the same stuff, and you mix it with mineral spirits. I don't know if you guys know what mineral spirits are. It's a solvent, but it has no smell, no odor. Okay. And you basically paint it onto the fabric so that it impregnates itself into the fabric. So I started experimenting with that yesterday. And the problem is the only quote unquote spirits or solvents that are available here locally, and I went to like 3 different hardware stores and everything, that it says they call it white spirits here. They're not mineral spirits. And the only ones that are available locally they're basically just gasoline, and it smells like gasoline. So what am I going to do? I'm going to paint these coats over here with gasoline and send them off to the army. Say, here, smell this. So no, I can't do that. So yesterday, I found online on Prom, which is like one of the sites that's like Amazon here in Ukraine. I found actual artist's quality odorless mineral spirits to mix with this to turn into a paint to paint on the coats. It's a big fucking deal. Jesus Christ. Whatever. It's gonna get done. It just, thank God I have time in the middle of the day, because I teach classes in the mornings and in the evenings, because people want to learn English before they go to work, before they start work, and after they finish work. Right? So, between like 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock, let's say, I usually have a lot of time to work. And yesterday I spent all day, most of the day, ordering. I don't know if you guys saw, but I ordered 50 liters of soap. Yes, and K&K, I thought about using kerosene, but again, that smell. Basically, mineral spirits are a more highly refined version of kerosene. They evaporate faster and they have no smell. Sometimes they will have just a little tiny little bit of a kerosene smell. I used to work with mineral spirits all the time. I was trained as an artist until I was like 18 years old. That's what I thought I was going to be, was a professional artist. Yeah, boiled linseed oil, and now that's the other potential that I decided against K&K was using boiled linseed oil for making oilcloth. And yeah, the respirator is a problem, and then the 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 fabric will smell like that linseed oil for a long time. I mean, literally like years. And you got to, and also, yeah, exactly, and not as flammable. Now, once oilcloth is completely cleared, how do I say? Once it's completely cured, that's what I'm looking for. It's not flammable. It's even less flammable than the regular cloth would be. But if there's even a tiny little amount of uncured linseed oil in the cloth, like if it's cold here, it takes a long time for this stuff to evaporate and to cure. That linseed oil, I need to send this stuff. I need to send it like this week. God damn it. So the thing is, linseed oil, if you take a cloth and like cotton, okay, and soak it in linseed oil and crumple it up and just leave it sitting somewhere, it can self-ignite. It can ignite just on its own. Yes, you're right. Any painting process will take forever to dry/cure in the winter. Yeah, you're exactly right. That's why I'm going with mineral spirits, because it's the fastest and the least odor and smell, and it's not going to self-ignite like linseed oil will. Yeah, thank you guys for asking about that. Fucking so if you can just imagine, with regards to the toilets, okay. I figured out that each pallet will produce one toilet. All right. So, in other words, I'm going to cut the pallet down to fit the approximate rough size of a Soviet toilet, and then cut a hole in the middle of the pallet where that the toilet will sit into, and then take the excess wood from the pallet and nail it down around where the toilet will sit, so that it will because otherwise it's just going to it's not going to hold up the toilet. Okay, so it's going to be like this toilet ring around there, and let me say toilet one more time. I'm going to have to reinforce it, and each pallet will produce one toilet basically, so the plastic toilet pieces that you see that are sitting right over there, I could grab them if you really want to see toilets today. Can I send the toilets back and get something else? I mean, yeah, I could get like foldable camping toilets, but we already tried that, and it's not. It's better to have a real solution, that's actually going to be stable and work. And if that takes a little bit of extra time, that's probably just be better to do a couple of outhouses in the woods. Well, I mean, basically, what I'm building here is I'm building in-house outhouses. Yeah. Yes, Cheryl, it is, and I thought about also doing like beeswax or a mix of linseed oil and beeswax. Those things are done, but again, yeah, you've got the issue of flammability, especially with wax, and you're think about, yeah, maybe it won't catch fire if you just put a lighter to it very well, but in the face of this is a big problem in the trenches and things. Everybody says be careful what you wear because it can catch fire. A lot of synthetic cloth is a big no-no. Yeah, K&K, that's exactly. Would that be strong enough with the gaps between the 2x4s? glulam the top and the bottom of the pallets crosswise to each other. That's kind of what I'm going to end up doing. Like I said, I'm going to take so imagine you've got a pallet like this. About 1/4 of each pallet is going to become the actual toilet stand. And then all of the other wood is going to essentially be laminated. Yeah, it's I've got all these about a bunch of screws, and it's all going to be screwed. For some reason, I can't find short nails anywhere in this town. You can buy like really long nails, but nobody has short nails, so it's all screws. And oh, can I send the jackets back? No, no, I cannot. I bought them used secondhand, and uh, they're like secondhand coats. It's secondhand. It's all secondhand stuff. And my commander is telling me like, hey, we really really need rain gear. We really really need rain gear. So this is what I'm doing to make that happen. Yeah. And honestly, I will continue if once I figure out that this works, I will continue to buy those jackets. Yeah, that is a question. I have a lot of different fabrics. So some of them are obviously cotton. Some of them are synthetic. Here, why not? They're sitting right here. Let me just grab one. Yeah. So this is a cotton. Okay. This one is synthetic. This one is probably a lost cause for waterproofing. But a fair number of them are at least enough of a mixture that I think they will take. Yeah, it may be back to the spray. um, but I'm expecting in the next day or two to get these mineral spirits in, and yeah, I'll order spray if I have to. Yeah, when in doubt, build it stout. Exactly. Yeah. Oh man, really quite a thing. Um, so got my local spring water here. Polania. That's what this says, by the way. Oh, hang on. So I'll full screen this. These local spring waters. God, this one tastes like ass. It really tastes like ass. Actually, I think ass tastes better. I don't know what the hell that is. But anyway, it's Polania, which Polania, it's related to like the word Poland, and I believe it originally meant like farmer or something. And this says Kwasova. So kvass is a locally made Ukrainian made um, drink it's tastes, I would say, similar to root beer vaguely, and looks a little bit like root beer, but it's made from bread. You really hated the bubbly water. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's sulfur, but it's something else too. But the thing is, it's got a lot of minerals in it, and it's supposed to be good for you. And I have found it's like Perrier tastes like ass, at least the first time you drink it. That's what this is. And every one of these is different. So this is number 3. Oh, there it is. Number 3. There's a number 5 and a number 7 and a number 1. But it is really healthy for you. Yeah. That's actually, it's funny you should mention K&K about synthetics. Be careful, synthetics might have a bad reaction to the mineral spirits. Yes. Um, uh, don't send that black jacket. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm testing it. I actually have different like pieces of cloth of different kinds that I'm testing it on first. Actually, give me a second. I started the testing yesterday. Give me a second. Okay. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. You're really gonna laugh. I think I've shown this before on my live stream, but not with so many people. Okay. Yeah. All right. So first of all, this is the closest thing to mineral spirits that's available. And dude, if I open it up, it freaking smells like gasoline. I will get high. I won't even open it up in this room. This is a fairly big bedroom, and I won't open it up in here. So I've had these sitting outside since yesterday afternoon. Okay, here's the situation. All right, if you go back and watch like my original videos, I was volunteering at a shop that was making military gear for for people in the army, and they had a bunch of scraps of cloth, and I was just trying to help, and they were throwing all these scraps of cloth away, and I said, hey, give me those scraps of cloth and I'll see like what I can make out of them, and maybe they can be used instead of just throwing them away. And all right, I'm obviously not a professional seamstress here, okay, guys? All right, so I'm showing you this. Don't laugh too hard. Yeah, melting self-combusting jackets, Catherine. Yes, emit toxic fumes, all of these things. Yes. Luckily, these jackets were really super cheap. So if there's some of them that are absolutely just not and also they're intended to be used. Mainly, they're intended to be used in training. Okay, the guys go through a month of training, and it tears their shit up, and they're only given one coat by the ZSU, by the army. Okay, they're only given one coat. So better to use one of these coats in training, tear the shit out of it, and then when they actually go to the front line, they have a decent coat. That's the whole point of this. So I honestly do not expect any of these coats are going to face fire or bombs or even bullets. Okay, but it's still an important consideration. Okay, so these are some of the things that I made. This was in the summer of 22, okay? And I was just sitting around like wondering what to do, trying to learn how to use YouTube and trying to organize something on Facebook and getting nowhere. So I made these bags. And these are bags that are yeah. Worst case scenario, I'll have them delivered to the front for cold orcs to find. They're not that bad. They're not going to kill people, you guys. All right. So these are bags that are made from scrap cloth, and I painted them with. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, they definitely smell like gasoline. But yesterday, so I mixed this with this. No, I mixed this with this to make basically a paint, and painted it onto this fabric. Now this is I believe this is a cotton polyester blend. It's exactly the same shirt as my t-shirt is made of from. It's t-shirt material. That's all it is. And it is double layered. So there's so this is like the outside, and then there's stronger fabric on the inside. But it does, and so this is another kind of fabric. So this is actual Cordura, even though it's black. So I'm just testing it on different fabrics, and then once it is fully cured, and okay, yeah, it smells like gasoline. Once it is fully cured, then I'll do a little bit of a water test on it. But it did soak into the fabric and on the Cordura too, and it feels different, you know. I did the same thing with this bag here. This actually still feels wet. This actually physically looks like a scrotum. I'm ashamed of this one. I apologize for showing it to you. I want to put like little hairs on it or something. And so this is a hat that I bought somewhere many months ago, and this is I did buy hats that I sent to the ZSU, like, you know, summer of 22, but this one, this is not one of the ones I did not send because I didn't, you know, it's just for me. And I actually hate hats like this. They're so popular in the army. I just feel like Gilligan from Gilligan's Island when I wear them, like really like, there we go. I just, but even like this, I just feel these are so popular and I hate them. But they're good for the rain. And so I figured I'll see if I can rainproof this. And this is synthetic. This is totally synthetic. And this was fine. It didn't melt at all. So, melted polyester shirt after a crack accident. Yes, yeah, exactly. Okay, are you ready for the real big laugh? Get ready for the real big laugh. All right. I'm putting on my serious face. I can't. I can't. I can't. All right, I'm taking it off. I can't keep a straight face. Did you guys see it? Did you see what it was? It's okay. It's like an Australian style hat, but I covered it with scraps of this t-shirt material to make it. Well, yeah, it's intended not to look like a hat. That's basically what it is. And I actually have had, Ukrainian soldiers who've been out there at the front and said, "Hey, that's a great hat," because snipers will be less likely to target you because it doesn't look like a hat. You don't even look like looks like something died on your head. A pretty flower. One of my fellow soldiers in the barracks said, "Yeah, snipers won't shoot you because they'll just feel sorry for you. They'll just say, oh, just let that one go. He's he's not worth it." So that's my anti-sniper hat. Although I intend to wear my helmet most of the time. All right, it's just I had it, and there you go. The problem is, this is why. Okay, so it was gray, and I had an actual camouflage hat like this, and the side kind of snaps. There's a button on it. I had an actual camouflage one, and I loaned it to somebody and never got it back. And so I just had this one, and I was like, okay, well, I have these extra strips. Now what we ended up doing with all this extra cloth was giving it to the local volunteer group that makes the camouflage nets. So it ended up being a good thing. So they use it on the camouflage nets now. But at the time, and I made a bunch of that. In fact, I have a short, one of my early shorts videos is of me sewing those scraps of cloth onto a longer strip to make it into a camouflage net. Anyway, yeah. Wow, you guys didn't even laugh that much. You're probably laughing on your own, though. Okay. So thank you for asking about the great toilet update and all of this. And it is quite a project. The biggest thing that I'm happy about is ordering the the first batch of soap, and then I am slowly putting up on the website other stuff, like now we've got shower gel and floor cleaner. Those are the next things, and this is 5 liters, okay, of shower gel. All right, and the floor cleaner is, well, I can't remember how big it is, to be honest. But it's enough. This, in my experience, partly because people, when they're cleaning the floor, a lot of the guys, I think it's their first time cleaning a floor, and they don't know how much floor cleaner to use, and so they just like just pour it in, like this, or they use like not enough. Socks are sold out on my site. Really? socks should not be sold out. The other things might be sold out because I'm trying to make it so that you can only buy 1 month's worth of like shower gel or floor cleaner at a time, and toilet paper as well. 1 month. So I will. Right now we have 63, and I threw in an extra one. And Cheryl, I did see your purchase of 1 pack of toilet paper yesterday. So that that completed the the toilet paper order. And I tried to order it yesterday, and I tried to order like the biggest bulk pack they had. I don't know, for some reason it didn't go through on my credit card, and then I had to teach lessons, and I didn't have time to investigate it. But today I will reorder, and if I have to order in a smaller packs, I will. The nice thing is, as Tony knows, the Nova Posta, the post office where these are being sent, is like 50 meters from the barracks. Literally, like as the crow flies, 50 meters from the barracks. So, I can order like big, huge bulk packs, and the sergeant can just have the guys, go to the post office and pick it up and carry these 5-liter things. So I will check on that though. So yeah, definitely dish soap is sold out. Toilet seats are sold out. We've got enough toilet seats. So people bought 3 toilet seats, so that's plenty. Hand soap. But yeah. On both sides of the bottles. Yeah. Yeah, because guys, inevitably, it's just, and the thing is, you have people from all over the world, Brazil and Japan, and they just have no idea. I remember we had one guy, a Korean dude, and I caught him washing his feet in the sink, the same sink where we all brush our teeth. And in Asian countries, they are very obsessed with cleaning feet, clean your feet, keeping your feet clean. But washing your feet in the same sink where you brush your teeth just basically makes people want to throw up. And like he didn't speak good enough English for me to explain to him, and I didn't know how to explain to him, like, don't do that. Wash your feet in the shower. So I just waited until we were in formation, and they were going over the rules, like, don't do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. And I, at the end of that, and they said, does anyone else have anything to add? And I raised my hand and I said, yes. Do not wash your feet in the sink where we brush our teeth. And everybody went, what the hell? Who the hell is doing that? And so I didn't have to tell him. I didn't have to say anything. Our squad leader was like, I catch anybody doing that, I'm going to beat him down. And except he had a British accent, so I can't really do that right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just... when you get a bunch of guys together in one place, it's a thing. So, by the way, I want to make something clear here. Orsis left our chat, so I'm not gonna talk specifically about Orsis, but in general, I personally am only going to send things, items, physical items, to people who I physically know, or who I know this person and they verified and they said, yes, please send these items to this guy. Like, for example, my commander in the 4th Training Battalion yesterday said, hey, I don't have time to deal with distributing all this and the socks. Please talk to the sergeant. Here's his information. And so I messaged the sergeant, and the sergeant's like, yeah, he gave me, and so I'm working with him directly. Okay, great. Same thing with the Alpha Company 1st Battalion. A guy that we trained with, Tony and I both trained with, He is in the Alpha Company 1st Battalion. He just went back because he was injured. He is physically on the front line now. Okay, and he's the person that I'm going to be sending these to, not the commander of the 1st Battalion. Okay, just one of the regular dudes. And he was like, "Yeah, totally cool. Let me know when you send it because it'd be a great excuse for me to, get off the front line a little bit and take a half a day to go into the nearest Nova Postia and pick this stuff up." So socks and tourniquets I'm going to be sending to the 1st Battalion because the 4th Battalion said, "Hey, we've got enough socks for the month." So maybe that's why. Okay, Cheryl, that's really interesting. I'm wondering why it shouldn't have stopped you from buying socks, because I know the 1st Battalion Alpha Company needs more socks. I will check into that. I will check into that. Thank you very much for letting me know about that. But yeah, so I'm like, just to be clear, Orsis might seem like a really good guy, but make sure you verify. Make sure you at least know someone who knows someone before you send any money. It's just trust but verify. That's all I'm saying for now. I want to do a little more research on people before I go sending them money. And that should be a policy that you should have, because there's a lot of scammers. and sad to say, I was talking with my students yesterday about another YouTube channel that in a Discord community that got scammed. And I won't say who it is just yet, but and my Ukrainian students, I was telling them kind of this story, and they were like, "Yeah, oh yeah, scammers, huh?" They're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, it is Ukraine after all." It's so just when people tug on your emotional heartstrings, I mean, play along, go with it, don't mistrust people, because this is the other thing. In our chats, in our in our YouTube comments and Discord chats and things, the orcs will try and get in there. They'll try and get into my Discord. They'll try and get into whatever Discord you're in, and they will sound like they're on your side, and then they'll drag you. Their whole point is to make you feel despair. Okay, to make you feel mistrust of other people. And I've gone in and joined like Discords or comment sections of other YouTube channels, and the first thing people do is like, "Who the hell are you? Are you a scammer? You must be a scammer." And that's not good either. I understand that we need to be wary, but if you are so KNK, I can't yet, but maybe I will. After I verify some more things and do a little more research, yeah. But it's just it comes. I had let me just tell you a little story. In 2015, my best friend shot himself, committed suicide, and it was a total shock for our community of people in Arizona. This was in Flagstaff, Cheryl. He was a university professor. I don't want to go into the details on that. The point is, I had another acquaintance who I thought was a really nice guy. We were in the same historical recreation group. I also knew his wife. They had 2 children. And this was within about a 6-month time period of my best friend's suicide. And he and his wife, I thought they were perfectly happy and everything was great, and all of a sudden they were getting a divorce, and I was like, wow, that's really weird. Why? So he started talking to me. Oh, thanks. As the sod turns. Landscape and design. What an interesting name. By the way, I love landscaping. If I live another life, I'll be a landscape designer. Yeah, makes us sad, but shouldn't be surprised. I had an operator Starsky impersonator. Yeah. So anyway, this was in America. This was 2015. Nothing to do with Russia. Anyway, this person who I knew started talking to me on Facebook and started coming to me kind of like, hey, you've been through a divorce and I'm going through this divorce. And I was also friends with his wife at the same time. That was a little bit uncomfortable. And I have a lot of Facebook friends, like 2,000 Facebook friends. At the time, I think I had about 600. And I would say about half of those are people who I actually physically have met. So I know a lot of people. I have a big network of people. This guy in America, okay, one day he's talking to me and he says, James, I'm going to kill myself. I'm sitting at home. I'm in the bathtub right now, and I just cut myself, and I'm bleeding all over. And also, I just found out that I have stage 4 brain tumor, and I have less than a month to live, so I'm killing myself. That's what he told me. And I mean, it was like a big, long, like book of texts, and all of kind of emotional stuff and just craziness, and it makes sense. Dude's going through a divorce, and he just found out he has stage 4 brain cancer. And it was like the middle of winter. And I was like, holy shit. Oh my God. Like, and the thing is I was 150 miles away at the time. And I was like, dude, I can't get to you. So I contacted every one of our mutual friends that I possibly could. Went on Facebook, sound the alarm. Hey, does anybody know where this guy lives? Contacted his ex-wife, and the people in our mutual, historical group. And some of them were like, oh my God, we'll get the police there right away. And then other people said, oh, he's doing it again. I said, what? Yeah, as the sod turns, yeah, don't bother, I'm poor. So they said, he's doing it again? I said, doing what? He said, yeah, he does this all the time. And then his wife, his ex-wife, told me, yeah, he has a bunch of fake online profiles as well, like on Facebook, and both men and women, like whole personalities, like Dungeons and Dragons characters, except real life, that he's created. And go through your friends lists and see if there are any that have recently friended you, and they might be his, they might be him. And it turned out, yeah, I had like 5 or 6 people I was talking to that were just him the whole time. And I was even talking to them going, oh my God, can you check on this guy? His name was also James too. That's the other thing. And it turned out that, yeah, he wasn't doing it to make money. He never asked, like, oh, can you send me $500 or something like that? No, nothing of that nature. It was that's just how he got his rocks off. So there are those people out there, and at the time I was shaken and shocked and in a very emotionally sensitive right. And that's the thing is I take a threat, suicide threat very seriously now. Of course, I've had 2 of my best friends commit suicide. 2. And after the second one, I struggled with what do they call them? Suicidal thoughts or whatever for like 2 years. It was rough. Anyway, the point is, And now, having gone through that experience, I'm a little more emotionally prepared. And so when somebody wants to tug on my heartstrings, and I just go right along with it, man. But trust but verify, and we'll play along. So, oh, I had survivor's guilt big time, Flo, big time. Yeah. Um, So I know it's getting late, and I'm coming on to the end of our time here. Uh, I just want to talk about this. Um, Putin's nemesis. This guy, Bill Browder. You guys should know who he is. He's the, I guess you could say, the author or the originator of the, oh my gosh, the original sanctions. What is this called? In 2014 that the United States imposed, the something bill. Oh my God, why can't I remember this? Anyway, the point is, Bill Browder, the reason he is Putin's nemesis is he was an American financial investor working in the largest hedge fund in Russia. He started, talking about and realizing the corruption, and his lawyer was assassinated. His lawyer was a Russian, but his lawyer was assassinated by Putin. And he got the hell out, removed his hedge fund from Russia. But since then, he's taken his billions of dollars and used it to fight against Putin and his corruption constantly. So if you just Google Bill Browder, or look up Bill Browder on YouTube, you'll see lots and lots of interviews and he's on CNN all the time. So he's talking about this, how seizing the 300 billion of Russian central bank reserves for Ukraine would be Donald Trump insurance. He's framing it in an interesting way, is what I'm saying. Wait a minute. I heard of a case where an old guy started an online relationship using the cover photo of a handsome Turkish model. When she found out, she contacted the model and started an actual relationship. Wild. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. The Magnitsky Act. Yeah. So his friend and lawyer and his firm was named Magnitsky. Thank you. Anyway, I just like the way he's framing it. Donald Trump insurance. Okay. Obviously, seizing these assets they've been talking about it a long time. It could happen very quickly if there was enough political will. So framing it in this way is useful. So if you want to start talking about seizing Russian assets as Donald Trump insurance, if that helps, fantastic. Yeah. So I think I want to cover a couple more things. Like these two things, but I think I'm gonna just kind of save these for tomorrow because they're kind of big subjects. The one thing I would like to ask you to do is watch this video. I linked it on my community tab. I think I did anyway. It's Savage Sage. Okay. Dude's got sick. He's a Ukrainian, very well spoken. Okay. So if you struggle with the Ukrainian accent, sometimes people do. This guy's very understandable, easily understandable, I think, personally. Theft of Millennia, how Moscovia rebranded itself as Russia. And, I had this, I'd like you to go and watch it, as many of you as you can, because I would like to have a discussion with you about this subject, because I think it's incredibly interesting. To sum it up, Moscow doesn't have a right to the name, historically speaking. If we're going to make the historical arguments that Russia is making about, you know, we are the true Russia and Ukraine is a part of us. And no, it's the other way around. And Moscow was a part of the Mongol Empire. And if you look at, you know, when Moscow was founded, they were using ideology because they were part of the Khanate, which was Islamic. So if you're making those historical arguments now, I showed this to some of my Ukrainian students yesterday, and they were not impressed. They were like, "James, why are you showing us stuff that we already know?" But ultimately, what one of them said, which I thought was very interesting, was, we don't really care about this so much because, first of all, we trace in Ukraine, we trace our historical, you know, the story of our beginnings. We trace it more to the Cossacks and that tradition of freedom and democracy that the Zaporizhian Sich Cossacks had in the 17th, 18th centuries. So, I mean, you can start the story of your country, especially if the story is old and as ancient as Ukraine. You can start that story anywhere you want. Like, you could go back 5,000 years if you wanted. And I actually intend to show you guys some, because, you know, my big thing is history. I intend to go back and show you guys some really interesting, you know, history about Ukraine that you will find fascinating, I hope. I have a lesson that I teach to my students, to my Ukrainian students, that they usually find very enlightening. And the title of the lesson is "We All Speak Ukrainian." And of course, Ukrainian students say, "Yeah, of course we do." But I'm saying, so do you, Cheryl, and Catherine, and Mitch. That's the point I'm making, depending on how you want to define things. But that's a future future live stream. It's the argument is similar to the argument that, scientifically speaking, cladistically speaking, we're all fish. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know that. If you want to watch a video about that, let me go back. Not related to Ukraine, obviously, but come on, here we go. We are all fish. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I need to learn to spell R. Yeah. Why humans may actually be fish. There you go. Okay. Why humans are fish. This is current scientific thought. So, by the same definition, we all speak Ukrainian. That's the point that I will be making. Okay. I speak redneck. Hey, Tony. I have more of a northern Alabama when I go full redneck, you know, because my grandfather was from northern Alabama. So yeah, I actually my accent, if you want to know when I talk my redneck accent, it ain't from my grandfather. It's from watching Gomer Pyle episodes when I was a little kid. When I loved Gomer Pyle. Okay. So that's enough for today. Like I said, be careful out there. Be careful who you send money to, and you know, have a great week. Keep supporting Ukraine. Yeah, no, you're right. It will take a lot of explaining, Mitch, but it's people don't realize how important Ukraine has been, especially to European culture, to world culture. So so much of that has been stolen. So, you know, check out this video, watch it. We'll talk about it tomorrow, and we'll talk about some other things too. Thanks very much, everybody. Slava Ukraine. Do побачення.